Bonjour tout le monde! Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm happy to see you today for another video, and for this video we're gonna talk about les mariages. Marriages, weddings, we're gonna see everything related to the vocabulary of les mariages. So this topic will have no question for you at the end of this video. So first, what are the goals of this class? Objectif: apprendre le vocabulaire du mariage. Learn the wedding's vocabulary. Décrire une cérémonie simple. To describe a simple ceremony, an easy ceremony with like basic vocabulary. Utiliser le présent et les verbes fréquents. Use the present tense and the frequent verbs. Poser et répondre à des questions simples. To ask and to answer to some simple questions. Let's start right now with le vocabulaire, the vocabulary. First, we're going to focus on les personnes. So, as you may know, when it comes to the wedding, we have specific vocabulary to the specific people. So, if you want to say the bride, la mariée. La mariée. And don't hesitate to really pronounce all the vowels. La mariée, the bride. The groom, le marié. So marié, when it comes to the pronunciation, when it's bride feminine or groom masculine, it's the same pronunciation because the E at the end of marié feminine is mute. The only thing that's going to change is the pronoun. La mariée, le marié. Then to say the guest, les invités. Invité is guest, it's plural. So if I want to say the guest, plural, I'm going to make the link with the S. Les invités. The family, la famille. The friends, les amis. To the link, les amis, and never pronounce the final S. It's just here to show that it's plural when you write it down, but when you say it, it's always mute. Les amis. Then, if you want to say the witness, best man, le témoin. Le témoin. And témoin means the witness, even outside of the context of the wedding. Le témoin. La témoin, same word when it's feminine, when it's the maid of honor. Le témoin masculine, la témoin feminine. And then if you want to put at plural, the witnesses, les témoins, and you put both the pronoun and the noun plural by adding an S. Les témoins. Then, the bridesmaids. This one is a little different from what we have in English because it's les demoiselles d'honneur. Les demoiselles d'honneur, the bridesmaids, and the best man, le garçon d'honneur. It's like saying of honor. Best man, le garçon d'honneur. Okay, let's read them all together. La mariée, le marié, les invités, la famille, les amis, le témoin, la témoin, les témoins, les demoiselles d'honneur, le garçon d'honneur. This is for the people, les personnes. Now let's focus on the places, les lieux. City Hall, la mairie. And careful with this one because sometimes it might be a little confusing between say the city hall and the bride or the groom. Here, marié, marié. City hall, mairie, mairie. Church, l'église. The reception hall, la salle des fêtes. Again, la mairie, mairie. Really pronounce this one. Mairie, l'église, la salle de fête. Okay, now the elements, things that you can find in a wedding. Les éléments. Of course, a dress, une robe, a suit, un costume, a ring, une bague. And really do emphasize the G sound, but don't pronounce the final E. Bague. A bucket, un bouquet. Bouquet et sound because of the ET. Et. A cake, un gâteau. A party, une fête. If you struggle a little bit with the little accent on the E of fête, just know that it's not about like how you're going to open your mouth, what's the pronunciation of the E specifically. It's just that it's a short accent. So it's not like the high accent or the low accent. This one goes fast. Une fête. Okay, again, one more time. Une robe, un costume, une bague, un bouquet, un gâteau, une fête. Okay, now let's have a look at the useful expressions, les expressions utiles. If you want to say the verb to get married, se marier. It's a reflexive verb. So every time you have the se before the verb, it's reflexive. This is the article that shows that the action you're talking about when you want to apply the verb, apply it to the person you refer when you say the phrase. So you need to keep the se, you need to keep this article. So if you want to say, for example, they get married today. Ils se marient aujourd'hui. Marie ending with ent because the pronoun is il plural, and because the verb is the verb first group ending with er, you know your ending of the verbs. You know that for all the verbs er, when the pronoun is plural, such as il ou elle, the ending of the verb will always be ent. So this doesn't change, and the se, to show that it's reflexive, remains the se when it's for il. That's why we have il se marie aujourd'hui. They get married today. Then to say yes, dire oui. Exemple, she says yes, elle dit oui. To wear, because of course you're wearing a beautiful dress, you're wearing a suit, you're going to say porter. Porter is to wear. The bride wears a dress. La mariée porte une robe. To invite, pretty similar, inviter. Ending with er, it's a first group of verb, inviter. They invite their friends. Ils invitent leurs amis. And here, pay attention to the pronunciation. I'm linking and connecting everything because I have two vowels from invite, starting with the I, ami, starting with the A. So I'm always going to pronounce my last consonant to smooth everything together. Ils invitent leurs amis. To dance, danser. So if you want to say we dance, nous dansons, ending with ONS because my pronoun is nous. Again, pronunciation. Il se marie aujourd'hui. Never pronounce the ENT, it's always mute. Elle dit oui. La mariée porte une robe. Ils invitent leurs amis. Nous dansons. Okay, now let's move on to the useful verbs. So when it comes to like the wedding theme, we have some verbs that we might use more than others, such as, for example, the regular verbs as to dance, to invite, or to love. These are regular verbs. So if you want to say I dance, je danse. Ending with E because my verb is danser, ER, same rule. If you want to say you invite, tu invites. The verb to invite is inviter, so the ending of my verb for tu will always be es. Tu invites, you invite. They love, ils aiment. To love is aimer. Aimer ending with er. Ending of the verb when it's for il plural, it's always ent. And because aimer starts with a vowel, I'm going to make the link. Ils aiment. And that is the difference between ils aiment. If I do pronounce the S, ils aiment as a Z sound, that means it's plural. If I don't pronounce the Z sound, il aime, that means he loves, which is singular. So careful, every time you have the S from the plural and you have a word that starts with a vowel, always try to make the link, but never pronounce the ENT. Again, je danse, tu invites, ils aiment. And then we have the irregular verb être, which is to be. This I'm pretty sure you know, a very basic one. You need to start with this verb to learn French. I am, je suis. You are, tu es. He is or she is. Il est ou elle est. Exemple. La mariée est heureuse. The bride is happy. Les invités sont contents. The guests are happy. Heureuse, content, synonyme. They mean the same thing. So one is heureuse feminine because it refers to the bride, la mariée. One is plural because it refers to the guests, les invités. So I'm putting everything either singular and feminine or everything plural. Okay. Have a look at a tiny little dialogue just to get really into the context. Tu es invité au mariage? And if you want to make it even better, tu es invité au mariage? Oui, je suis invité. Tu portes quoi? Literally, you wear what? What are you wearing? Je porte une robe bleue. I'm wearing a blue dress. The color bleu is feminine because it refers to robe. And when you look at robe, you have the pronoun that shows that it's une. So une robe is feminine. So we have to put the E of the color too because it's an adjective. So you're always going to connect the color of the thing you're talking about. Je porte une robe bleue, a blue dress. Everything is feminine because the main thing is robe, that is the noun, feminine. Try to pronounce this one slowly by taking your time and try to make all the links. Once again, tu es invité au mariage? And when it's a question, you can always try to raise your voice a little bit at the end of the phrase. Tu es invité. Tu portes quoi? Je porte une robe bleue. Yeah, that was a little dialogue. You can always try to practice that on your own, or even if you want to try to do your own little dialogue so that you can show the vocabulary of those two sides, how to ask questions, how to answer with the vocabulary that we just saw. A great idea. And for today, I made you a little exercise when it comes to grammar and vocabulary. So what you have to do for this one, you have to complete the phrases with the missing word. You don't have any clue of what the word is, but it's, I think, pretty easy depending on the context and the meaning of the phrase. We're going to read those phrases together, and I'm going to let you pick the right word. Usually I tend to say that it's just one specific word that is required here, but if you have another one from the one that I originally thought, that's great. There's no wrong answer as long as those phrases make sense. 1. La mariée porte une. 2. Le marié a un. So here, careful. Masculine, feminine, etc. Now, grammar. Les invités and the verb danser. I want you to conjugate danser correctly with the right ending. Il, être, heureux. Être conjugated with the right pronoun. And the last one, nous, inviter, nos amis. Same thing, you try to connect the verb inviter by putting the right ending depending on the right pronoun. And that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope that you like it, that you learn more vocabulary when it comes to the topic of wedding. If you have any question, as usual, please do not hesitate. You can always text us on Instagram or in the comment section below. If you can put a little thumbs up or a little comment, it's always super great to see that you guys liked it, or if you have any question, I'll be happy to help. And last thing before we stop, just keep in mind that if you are a part of the FLS team or not, but you're a little curious to learn more vocabulary, we're doing challenges every week on a specific topic, and we try to connect those challenges with the theme of the video of the week. So for example, if you want to try to learn more vocabulary when it comes to les mariages, the weddings, and you want to do some exercises, some fun challenges to challenge yourself, don't hesitate to ask us. We'll be happy to give you the link, and you'll be able to try to complete those little exercises. We have like oral comprehension, vocabulary exercises, music on a specific topic. So it's super great to try to explore more French vocabulary on those specific themes. And that's pretty much it for today's video. I'm wishing you all a good end of your week, and I'm seeing you next week for another video. Salut!